Zoning Board meeting. Today's date is December the 2nd, 2024, and the time is 1:32. So we'll get started and start out. We do have a quorum of, we have 6, if I counted right. I have trouble after trying to count past 5. We have the previous minutes. Have we had a chance to look the previous minutes over?
Yes.
Move approval.
Anyone have a question? Need a motion to approve? Or
I will make a motion to approve.
Second.
All right, let's all have a vote for the approval. All in favor say aye.
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 Okay. We're moving on to the public comment section. Which is item number 2 on the agenda, public comment. Issues or concerns not on the regular agenda may be raised by the public at this time. Citizens should speak from the podium, address comments to the dais, and begin by stating their name and address or single-member district, and limit all remarks to less than 3 minutes. We have a 3-minute timer.
We have no public comment.
I'm going to close public comment. There's not. Item number 3, review, take action. Oh, we did that one. I jumped, didn't I? This new agenda's got me. Item number 4, ZBA 24-34, 2459 Nasworthy Drive, single-member district number 5, Karen Hesse Smith. A request for approval of a variance from section 501.A for 2-foot setback in lieu of the required 5 feet in an RS1 zoning district for the expansion of a principal structure with a new connected garage.
Thank you, Austin Reed Planner. So this item came before you last month. It was tabled to give the applicant a chance to provide more detailed information. We have received some information, so here we are again. This comes out of the ASU College Hills neighborhood. It is district number 5, Karen Hesse Smith's district. The zoning of this lot is RS1, single-family residential. The division holds it to be neighborhood, and it's about 0.4 acres. As you mentioned, we have a request for approval of a 2-foot side yard setback, whereas we normally require that 5 feet. So we mailed out 25 notices last month. We did receive 2 in favor from the applicant and the neighbor next door. We did not receive any opposed. So on to our analysis. A lot of this is unchanged from last month as well. However, we did confirm that the variance is for an enclosed garage structure, not a carport. This structure measures 52 feet by 21 feet according to the plans that they provided, and it will abut the side of the home. As last month, there do not appear to be any special circumstances peculiar to the land. It's a very typical lot in both size, shape, and all of the neighborhood seems to be abiding with the side setback as well. Therefore, we weren't able to find that the necessary criteria for granting a variance has been met. Here's a photo of the side of the home where that garage is set to be. And then this is outdated a little bit, but it's just to give you an idea of the layout of the lot and where the structure will be.
Sorry, I can barely hear you.
Sorry.
It's okay.
So this is a little bit outdated. It's just here to show you the layout of the lot and where the structure may be. And then here's just a basic floor plan that they provided. You can see it measures 52 by 21. It has an 18-foot wide opening. I presume it's going to be a garage door. And then there's an
Structure was already there, and they're just wanting to add on to the back of it, correct?
No, this is a new structure. Entirely new structure. They're placing it over their driveway. I guess that doesn't work. Pretty much where you see those vehicles, I think, somewhere back there.
I'm sorry, do what?
Somewhere where you see those vehicles in the photo back there will be a new garage structure, and it'll butt up pretty close to the home, I believe.
Oh, it was the side.
And there's an elevation view in case you're curious.
Could I ask you something?
Sure.
Is it going to be enclosed, or is it open?
Yes, it
It's
is
gonna be
enclosed
enclosed?
with a garage door. Yes, sir. We are recommending an aisle, and I'll take any other questions you might have.
Any question for Mr. Reed? I have one, if not.
Can you go back a couple more where it shows the house?
Sure.
Yeah, I'm sorry, one more up.
Okay.
Thank you. We're up, thank you. So it does not touch, or it does touch the house? Does it join the house?
I don't think it joins the house. I think in our ordinance, if an accessory structure is within 10 feet of the primary structure, it basically functions as an extension of it. So it would follow the same setbacks as the house. I don't think it physically joins the house, but it is close.
Okay, thank you.
Looks like when the developer, which I assumed many years ago was Ted Brown, put a 10-foot setback line on that side. How are we supposed to look at that?
So
That's a
that would be outdated. We see those on plats a lot of the time where people list certain setbacks, but our zoning ordinance can change over time. That may be a deed restriction. What matters right now is the current zoning, and the zoning holds that setback to be 5 feet.
Okay, it's not on the overall plat then, is that what you're saying?
Right, yeah. We would basically ignore where it says 10 feet there. That should be a 5-foot setback.
So that's a mistake.
On that original plat, that's a mistake?
Right. It might not necessarily be a mistake. It could just be outdated.
I would imagine that
But
the
that's what they're
developer.
based off of.
Yeah, the 10 foots I see now is mainly on patio homes. Okay. Because it has the 5 foot on the other side. So I was just wondering why that was 10 foot.
Yeah, way back whenever this was done, like I said, it's most likely a deed restriction or the zoning ordinance was different at that time.
I would imagine the developer had in mind to keep the houses farther apart at that 10-foot side. That'd be my guess, unless it's some kind of utility easement.
Yeah, that may have been the intent.
It
Yeah.
doesn't say. It's part of the plat, though, right? That's not a restriction. It's part of the plat.
Correct.
It's listed on the plat, but that's not what the city enforces right now.
Okay.
Correct.
So, okay. Just making sure I was clear on that.
Sure.
That's all. Thank you.
And just to clarify, if it was a deed restriction and ours says 5 and the deed restrictions say 10, the most restrictive is going to apply. So even if you granted the variance for 5 or whatever, and that restriction exists, I mean, other homeowners might be able to enforce that. So,
Right,
mean-
but they're also looking at their original plat that was drawn up to when they purchased the house. If that's what the survey is showing, that's what they're getting.
yeah, I'm just saying, if that 10-foot exists, I mean, they may still be subject to
Okay,
that.
That's what you're
Yeah.
saying. Okay. Well, if it's like that throughout the whole platting of that street, I'm sure the developer at that time didn't know him, but I know his reputation was of good reputation. He probably did that for a reason. That was to keep the separation of the houses. If it goes down the next lot, but, so, okay. Thank you. Any more questions? That, by the way, that developer's reason Campus Street has all those beautiful live oaks down there. That was in the 50s when the deal hit. Did I go too far? That wasn't on the
No.
agenda, was it? Campus, did I say campus?
Yeah.
Wasn't live oaks.
Campus, yes.
All right, I guess we're
Thanks.
done. Does anyone out in the audience want to, I'm jumping. There we go, jumping again. All right, board, let's see, did we did that, do we want to discuss it amongst us, or do we want to go straight to a motion? Because I don't see anyone out in the audience that looks like a proponent, and I could be wrong. Did they sign up? No. It's okay. So they're really worried about it? You don't know? That was kind of rhetorical, I guess. Was that a rhetorical question?
We tried to work with the applicant a little bit. They should at least be aware of their options.
Okay. All right. All right. I'm down to board discussion. If there's not any discussion, I need to ask for a motion. And we do the discussion first if you want to discuss it.
I think we tabled it for a reason so that we could discuss it and kind of figure some things out. Am I wrong?
I thought they were going to go figure their options with planning.
Wasn't it like a 2-foot difference that we were giving them the
Yeah.
option of doing?
Yeah, it calls for 5 and they're asking for 2.
And they never,
They haven't
Communicated with
indicated, I mean, he came in, they never indicated what they would be willing to do or what they want to do. I let them know their options, that they could either reduce the size of the structure or maybe move to the backyard since that's a paved area. But like I said, I don't think they said whether or not they were inclined one way or the other.
But they were aware whenever you talked that what their options were, where the meeting was, so
Yeah,
forth.
I've communicated that, yes,
Okay.
sir.
Then I'm gonna make a motion to deny.
Okay, I guess a closed discussion, and there's going to be a motion, go ahead and say it again. To what would you say? I didn't hear you, I had my bad.
I'm gonna make a motion to go with the city and deny the,
Okay, there's a motion for denial, do I hear a second? Second. There's a second, I'm going to go for the vote, if there's not any more discussion from the board on the motion. There not being one, I'll say, let's go to the vote, all in favor, say aye.
aye.
Aye, any opposed? There be none, it passed 6-7 against.
6-0.
Or
6-0.
6-0, I'm sorry. That was against. That was against. Item number 5, ZBA 24-37, 270202 Red Bluff Ramp Road, Single Member District Number 1, Tommy Hebert. Request for approval of variance from zoning ordinance section 511.8.1 to not have a paved connection to a public street for a new home at 2702 Red Bluff Ramp Road. Hello,
Thank you.
Mr. Reed.
Austin Reed, planner. This one comes to you out of the neighborhood of Nasworthy. We are in District Number 1, Tommy Hebert's district. It's an RS1 lot. The vision plan holds it to be neighborhood and open space. It's about half an acre in size, and we have a request to not have a paved connection to a public street for a new home. You can see it's for this top left lot outlined in red. Right now, I think it's the only one on the block that is still undeveloped. So we only mailed out 4 notices. We didn't receive any responses. So on to our analysis. To the front of the home is not actually a public street. It's a large vacant lot owned by the city that extends through the block. It's in front of all the other homes on the block, and there's similar ones throughout the area on all the Red Bluff roads. But these lots are designated as shared access easements on the plats. This lot actually seems to be the furthest away from the public street, has the furthest distance, which comes out to about 300 feet that they would be required to pave otherwise. As you can see probably from the satellite imaging, no other home on the block has a paved connection to Red Bluff Ramp Road. These more than likely weren't required when the homes were developed, most likely before the area was even annexed. So staff found that there were special circumstances peculiar to the lot and that all the necessary criteria in granting a variance can be met. And I've included the best photo I can. So this is actually the neighboring home to the right. The subject property is going to wind back to the left somewhere back here, and they'd be required to pave all the way through here to the public road. With that, we are recommending approval, and if you have any questions.
So they're being required to pave where everybody else has access to? Because you said that's a side lot.
Right, that's correct. You can see all of these homes use this city lot for access, and it's really just a bunch of dirt roads that lead to people properties. But they'd be required to pave their own connection to their home from here.
Just their connection, not anyone else,
Right.
not anything anyone else can use?
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Any more questions for Mr. Reed? Y'all don't have one?
No.
Okay, y'all went through the variances and y'all covered it. I'm reading them. They look like you gave a good consideration, and so I don't see anything there that bothers me. Go ahead.
He's wanting to get who to pave it? He's going to pave it, or the city's going to pave it, or?
So they're looking to build a house on this lot,
Uh-huh.
and houses in our ordinance right now are required to have a paved connection from their lot all the way to a public street. That isn't present right now. So if whoever builds a house here is going to need to pave their own personal connection from this lot down to Red Bluff Ramp Road across this access easement.
The city is not required.
Okay, he's required.
Correct.
He would be required unless we grant this variance.
So he's not wanting to pave it.
Correct. If he doesn't
Presumably.
want to pay it, he wants to have the access like the other ones do. He doesn't want to actually have to pay that
Yeah.
middle line. Are the other accesses, have they had to pay them, or are they dirt?
No, they haven't had to pave them. Next door, it's,
Whole neighborhood is dirt.
yeah, it's slightly improved, but that's still just caliche. So no one's had to pave. Yeah.
So he'd be the only one with the paved access to his house, and everyone else that goes to those other 3 houses don't have paved access, and they
Correct.
haven't had to pay for them?
Right, it would be unusual for the area, yeah.
What do you mean it would be unusual? Oh, power went out. Maybe for a hot minute.
It would be unusual in that no one else on this block has a paved connection back to Red Bluff Ramp Road.
But you're saying no one else has a paved connection back to Red Bluff
Right,
Road, right?
right. So it would be unusual if they did have a paved connection, if we required them to do so.
Okay. So he's asking not to have one.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. The
Okay.
requirement is that he
And
has
we're all
one
in
and he's
agreement that
asking
he
not to have
shouldn't have
one.
to pay for one.
Correct.
Okay.
And the
I
city-
want to make sure
and
we're
the
all on the
city
same
agrees
page.
with that.
Yes,
Sorry, do what?
And the city agrees with that.
correct.
I think his question caught me off guard a little bit. That's why I was like, where are we going here? Okay. Yeah.
Any more for Mr. Reed? Any more questions for? Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Okay, I'll open it up for public comment. Not being any, because no one, the public isn't here. So I'll close public comment. All right, board discussion.
I'd like to make a motion, oops.
Any board discussion on this?
You don't want my
amongst us?
motion?
Hold on.
Okay.
There being none, I'm going to open it up for motion. Let's have a motion.
I would like to make a motion to approve the variance.
There's a motion for approval. Is here a second?
I'll second.
Any more discussion from the board on the motion being made? I'll take it to the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes 6-0. Moving on to item 6, division report.
I don't believe we have anything for the division report.
Thank you. Next meeting agenda, January the 6th, 2025, right? Yep. I'll change that on this agenda, 2025, okay? Y'all get used to that.
Should be 2025, yeah.
Glad I
Good
don't
eye.
have to, I'm glad I don't have to handwrite checks anymore. I would probably still be in 1989. All right, okay, next meeting will be January the 6th, 2025. It'll be in City Hall East Mezzanine Meeting Room at 1:30. Item number 8, I need a motion for adjournment. There's a motion to adjourn. Do we need to have board discussion on that? All right, let's go to the vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 Passes 6-0. Merry Christmas, y'all.
Merry Christmas.